Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good. I hope I'm live. I should probably set to... Oh, no, it's already exited out of hosting. It was hosting Ima, which is good. So I found that list of incentives that I gotta do. I was looking for it yesterday when I was streaming Stalker. I think it was episode 4? Cool Void, I think I called it. Just in case if you want to... I don't know how many people actually like watch from one series to another, or if you just binge series. It's kind of hard to tell in analytics, but you know, whatever. I felt like Stardew was the thing I wanted to do today because I've got a bit of time left in Stardew, and I feel like I need to make a big deal out of the end of my summer car. I'm probably prematurely calling that, but it seems like it's very close. So anyway, let me start up Stardew. I did switch the title, right? Shopkeep, Stardew. I was supposed to get in on this. Chronog's thing today is this game called Sundered. I don't know anything about it, aside from... Its title is still Stalker. Hold on. It shouldn't be. It should be Stardew. Let me update it again. Hopefully that fixes it. Anyway, they gave me like early launch options if I wanted to, and I just totally forgot. It's mainly known for being by the same people who made Jotan, I think it's called. And I actually ran into those guys one year at I think it was South by. Let me bring this music down. This is how I see. I've literally got like Windows Media Player playing the music. That's how I do that. A little stream tip for you. The title is not accurate, but the rest of it is. I don't know why that is. I've set it up right. The title is correct now. Okay, cool. We are coming to the end of this game fairly soon. Within a couple of streams, I think. Day 1 of winter, year 2. The game ends on first day of spring, I think. Hey B, how are you doing? So let me remind myself where I'm at. I think I did a, like, here's what I'm doing next time sort of thing, but I totally fucking forgot, and I don't know, it was whatever. Are you still pregnant, or... Okay, so we do have, like, the room. This game ends on year 3, yeah, but we're coming up on year 3. Alright, so the fields are just gone. It's done. And there's really nothing else that we can do with them. The trees have wilted. We can set up a path and stuff. Looks like the star fruit plants are coming in. Everything is set up the way it should. There's not a lot we can do. It's set to auto water. We've got a lot of beans that we need to get through. You can do winter seeds. You can do winter seeds? Is that a thing? Let me go to, I mean, the game doesn't end on year 3 if you don't want it to, but I think, once we get to the end of where there's new content, winter forage seeds. They grow forage stuff. So can I go and buy that, or is that something that I gotta... Here, hold on. I'll tell you about my day here in a minute. Oh, it's Krobus's birthday. Should go say hey to Krobus. 40 copper ores. I should always just have copper ore on me. Alright, well, let's go back and get 40 copper ore to give Clint. You have to craft it. Okay, well, that answered that question. And we got a quest, and we know we need to go give Krobus something. So, we'll do that. I don't know what Krobus likes. I don't really know much about the guy. Oh, and I don't have 40 copper ore either. Let me go ahead and smelt up some more. I mean, I can start being nicer to people, but I honestly don't give a shit. I was gonna upgrade something. What was I gonna build or upgrade? There was something. Okay, hold on. Slime hutch. Slime hutch. That's what I was doing. I was making a slime hutch and I was putting it right here. I remember now. You think he likes iridium bars? I think I need them. Okay, so I don't have enough copper. Oh, and I forgot to... God, I'm so out of practice in this game. But it's okay. It's not one of those games that punishes you for forgetting things. Not ultra bad. Not like, I'm gonna close those up, because... he might like void eggs, yeah? I mean, he's like a void spirit, so... I mean, what do you give a void spirit? They've got everything and nothing. They are... quintessence. They are just infinite. Would you mind moving? I'm just gonna run into him until he moves. Oh god, I hate you. Hopefully he goes through me here soon. Or I go through him. Can you not phase through animals? Apparently not. So what have I been doing today? Me and Tilda did all the stuff that you gotta do as adults that I hate doing, like laundry and going to the grocery store. But in the process, we did end up having a good time. Just a way to hang out, I guess. I mean, I don't know. There's something nice about going grocery shopping. I don't really care for it, but I like doing it when I'm hanging out with Tilda, if that makes sense. I'm not a huge fan of adulting. I'll avoid it when I can, but sometimes you gotta. So if we forage some, we might be able to find some. So let's go teleporting around. Yeah. Okay, so mixed seeds I should be able to plant. Is that what you're saying? Where was I going? Oh, right. I can't do that with any of this shit. I'm just gonna go straight to... Let me go to Krobus. Well, no. Let me go to the person making stuff. But that was fun. And then I went home. I've been looking on Craigslist for a new job because, you know... ever since April, YouTube has been really funky, and rather than stressing about it, I'd like to just find something. You know what I mean? So I've been looking around, and I saw a job where they just want pictures of Bill Murray. I was gonna say Bob Ross. I know. You gotta look wherever you can, and Craigslist is one place. Anyway, there's a guy or someone, I don't really know much about them, but they want a picture of, or as many pictures as they can of Bill Murray so they can make a art book about Bill Murray. So I'm like, sure, whatever. It's essentially commission work. They're willing to pay me a legitimate amount. Not a lot, but if I'm going to be sitting here painting all day anyway, I might as well, right? I don't know. They want to make a book about Bill Murray. Is it above board? Are they gonna get sued for it? I don't know. I don't care. It's really not a huge issue to me. Would it be better if it was there? Kinda, but that's a really convenient spot for me. So I'm gonna put it here and then just have the road go around. So, I mean, if I'm just doing whatever anyway, I might as well paint Bill Murray. So I spent most of today painting him. I spent the last couple of days, well, I spent yesterday, I think it was, just sort of putting in the background. And I don't normally paint or draw people. I hate doing it because, you know, hillsides or cafes or tables, they don't get mad if you fuck it up. People do. And people understand when a person's face is wrong. There's that uncanny valley thing. But if you mess up a hillside, if you slightly, you know, misplace a line or something on a hill, no one cares. No one knows. Hills are just that way. You know? No one really knows that much about hills. How do I split a stack? I can, right? That's a thing I can do? Yeah, there we go. I had to right click. I was trying to do the Minecraft way. And I figure if I just send them a picture of the painting I do, then I could sell the painting itself and maybe prints of it later. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what the laws are like on that. Happy birthday, Krobus. Maybe marry Krobus again? Or Krogus? Is it Krobus or Krogus? God, it really shows how good of a friend I am with him, if I remember his name. Also, she's just sitting in the snow. From the little bit amount of time that I know about snow. Anyway, thank you for 15 bits, Purple Sheepy. The little bit I know about snow, it's not something you just really do. You don't just sit there in the snow. Like, even if you've got stuff on to prevent yourself from being cold in the snow, you kind of, like, do other shit. Like, I don't know, anything. Like, you do what you gotta do outside, then you go back inside. Even when I was making Tim, it was Little Tim, right? Little John, that was it. You go, and then you go inside, right? Like, you don't just hang out outside all day. Also, I should probably upgrade some of my equipment, but I think I'll wait to do it until after I've got the copper. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's gonna be a bitch, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter with the hoe. I could upgrade the hoe. I think I need iridium for that, which I don't know where I get iridium. I think I need to kill slimes right now. What did I think of Northern Winter? I liked it. It reminds me a lot of Southern Summer. In that you go where you need to go, and then you go inside. And it's more or less just hanging out in one sheltered, heat or air-conditioned spot to another. And you spend as little time outside as possible. And eventually, you get what you need done. 85, maybe? Where are the slimes at? Okay, so we need to kill like 95 more slimes in order to get the slime ring, which allows me to harvest slimes easier. Iridium's easier to harvest in the desert cave, or you can get slimes. But to do the slimes, I basically need the slime ring, which I get from killing enough slimes. I mean, it's really genocide at this point. Once you've killed 1,000 of something, like, I don't think I've killed 1,000 of anything in my life. Maybe like bacteria. But I wasn't really actively trying. It just sort of happened. So I don't think that really counts. You know? With, like, things that I actively were trying to kill. Even, like, mosquitoes. I haven't killed 1,000 of them. You know? Gotta keep a watch on my health so I don't get into that situation again. It's gonna probably be a few days of mining slimes. But anyway, I've been enjoying just painting a lot recently. There's a gallery show coming up, and I'm gonna try and enter, but I do need to get up better in my skill. And if I'm gonna be teaching lessons, I should have some portfolio work, some more recent stuff, right? So I figure let's just kind of 2 birds, 3 birds, 1 stone. Paint Bill Murray, get paid to paint Bill Murray, have some commission work done, have some stuff in my portfolio. Doesn't really matter if they pay or not. It would be good if they did. They're not paying me really what it's worth. Okay, I need to eat something because I'm dying. Algae soup. That'll be fine. Okay, that should put me safe for now. I should be fine. That's a lot of doors. I must be having a lucky day. And, I don't know, a portrait is a decent enough way to diversify, yeah, sure, and it's extra work. And people, when they ask for painting lessons, they want to paint people, and they want to paint, things, like hillsides and dogs and stuff like that. Like, they don't want to try and express themselves, they just want to, like, paint, I don't know, whatever crap they like painting. Which is fine, I think that's honest. Like, you ought to paint what you feel like painting. Especially if you're just doing it for fun. If you're doing it for making money, then you need to be a little bit more, you know, ingenious with yourself. You need to do something a little bit more original. I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot recently. I was the guy who gave Vinny the Jaguar. Yes, okay, yeah. I, like, only saw you kind of slightly out of the side of my, eye for, like, that entire interaction. But yeah, I remember. I brought kiwi, strawberry tea, peach tea, orange grove, vanilla tea, and vanilla chai tea off some chick on Etsy. Have you gotten to try it yet? I'm not usually for the fruity kind of teas or whatever, but that could be good. But yeah, I mean, portraits are nice. People like them. I've been looking into, like, I don't know, I've been just thinking about art a lot recently. Maybe it's just because I've been painting and I have nothing else to do with my time. It's kind of a blessing and a curse. The more time you have to think, the more your time is spent on depressing things, especially when you have, like, chronic depression or anxiety or whatever. But, that's beside the... Wow, that was a lot of diamonds. So it's best to keep yourself active, and I'd like to eventually be doing just this and art someday, so if I can't find a job, I might as well just be doing this and art in the meantime, right? And having to think about art is probably a better thing for me. I got the perk that allowed me to duplicate gems. I remember this, yes. So, I figured... I don't know, art is interesting. You brought your long sleeve... Oh, yes! Yes! Now that you've said that you're the dude with the patch jacket, because there's only one other dude there with a patch jacket. Come on out. There you go. Oh, I can't get either. Yeah. Cool. So it's just been kind of, I don't know, I've been thinking about art and the art scene, especially, like, high art, because, I mean, if I ever, thank you, Sleepwalking, for the resub, 2 months of support. Especially if you're gonna do, like, any sort of art, it's worth, like, having your ducks in a row. And a lot of art is just being able to talk about your art in some sort of interesting way. And, like, let's be honest, with, like, my skulls that I do, like the metal skulls, I could easily come up with some bullshit reason, but I honestly just kind of like drawing skulls, and they're cool. And you could get into the whole memento mori thing and whatever, and if, like, I was interviewed by some magazine, guaranteed I'm gonna be pulling that shit, because otherwise you don't sell things. Because you have to have a nice backstory on why you draw what you draw. Like, you can paint buttholes if you want, but you have to explain why you're painting buttholes. And it has to be some deep philosophical shit, you know? You can't just be like, I like buttholes. Which is a weird thing to say in an interview. Guess it is. You can say whatever you want. It's been interesting watching, since Pancake is here, we can bring that up. I was going to bring it up yesterday when I was playing Stalker, but I couldn't because I kept getting scared by things and such and such. But Pancake introduced me to this channel called Magic Man Sam, I think it is. I was getting it wrong yesterday and just continuously. Why did I hear chicken? I mean, that's not my cup of tea to be painting buttholes, but I'm just saying, like, if that's your thing, you better have a good way of explaining that shit. I think anyone can say that, you know? Let me hug and kiss the wife. You can't just say hello to your wife. You have to actually, like, interact with them. It's good suggestion. Sorry, I'm not good at writing letters. I made one metal bar too many. I thought you might need it. Yeah, sure. Just randomly you have an extra gold bar. That just goes on the floor. Okay, so we can put up that stuff. We'll get back into that story here in a second. I need the white algae. I could sell some of this stuff. I can put that up, and that up, and that up, and that up, and that up. This is good. Was it racist of me to just assume that the Void Spirit would like iridium bars? I don't know. What happened to your baby? I haven't seen it yet. Like, I've been waiting for that shit to pop on out, but it hasn't yet. I don't know what's up with that. Just like, geez, how long does it take to make a baby? You did my bit. Now what? But I digress. We should probably get some more silver ore. Probably golds, right? Gonna have to flash games that baby out. So that's all the gold that I've got. That's good. I've got 26 copper. That's good. We're working on having enough copper to be able to show it to him. I forget how many he wanted. 40. I get to keep them afterwards, so it's fine. Sell the aquamarine. And the void egg. Let's go talk to the chickens and such. The cat, I'm a little bit worried about just it hanging out outside. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing this. Maybe you should come inside. Oh. Do I not have, like, the crystallarium making crystals in that one? Should I make iridium bars? Can I do that? I don't know why I have all that garbage in that chest. I think it was just, like, random rare stuff. So it's not bars, it's only gems. So I should probably just make diamonds, since they're most expensive diamond thing. Whatever. I believe I do have some diamonds that I just got for free, so I might as well just take one of them and pop them in there. Consumes one to make infinite diamonds. I was probably waiting to get another one, but that doesn't really make any sense. I'm sure I had a reason for all that shit, but I don't remember what it was. I gotta say, chat is moving very slow. It's a much smaller chat than usual. I think it's just because I was used to the chat the other day when I was playing Flash games, and it was just going a mile a minute. Well over 700 people in chat for that, which makes me feel good. But I'm also down with, like, slow chat, if that makes sense. I think it would be stressful if it was fast chat all the time. You know what I mean? Hey. Just pet my animals. No, don't eat the blackberry. Just talk to the evil chicken and the... I mean, it's not evil, it's just pure darkness, the void. Incomplete. And completeness as one. As a chicken. I think it would be really exhausting to have to deal with large chat numbers all of the time. But anyway, let's get back to art. So this Magic Man Sam guy, right? So his thing is that he talks about, you know, magic cards, and he also talks about artists and what they're doing for the cards, right? I'm gonna put that up because I don't really need it. Why are they doing the art they're doing for the cards? You know, what is their style? Because there is a style to it. And I think a lot of the art that is done for, like, Magic the Gathering, like, people don't really look at, they don't really think about. It's just sort of there. And, you know, they might go, oh, that's cool. Errant21, thank you for subscribing. That's cool of you. I guess I should say I'm really trying to make sure that I stream like every day of this next month. Probably not every day, because that's unrealistic, and I have to go and have experiences so that way I can come back and tell you about them. Else it would be boring. But watching these things about art is nice, because then I can summarize it and feed it back to you, and then we have a thing. But they were talking about this one artist. It was the one that came out today, I think. And it was talking about this guy who does, like, fantasy realism. And when people hear about... I've been meaning this up for a while now, and well, thank you. And thank you for saying that I'm your favorite. That's really nice. That's really cool. Okay, I just need to kill a few more of these slimes. But when people... Let me get back to the art thing. So when people say art realism, they most of the time don't know what the hell they're talking about. Realism was a very specific movement in America that was a reaction to Romanticism. It used a lot of browns and greens, and it was like random dude sitting on the side of the road paving it. You know? Or random people in a field. Not attractive, like, you know, heroic people, but just like some guy lost to history who happened to be doing, I don't know, plowing the fields or whatever. There's nothing like Romanticism is about like these guys. Let me see if I can find like a classical picture of, and Romanticism very much depends on the region. I know most of art is a reaction to that's Romanism. Romanticism. There we go. This is the classic image of Romanticism. Let me bring it up on screen. Depending on which region you're from, depends on what Romanticism looks like. In some regions, it's let me see if I can find it. Okay, so this is, when you're talking about art history, most likely you're shown this one when you're talking about Romanticism. Like, look it's the brave adventurer, and he's on the hilltop, and look at all this huge expanse, and look at how dapper he looks. This is, you know, heroism and might and all of the things. And then there's like some weird shit like Goya, who's also like technically in Romanticism. He needed to see a doctor. He was not a well man. But that's the point anyway. Romanticism is about these, it's like pulp fiction sort of stories about heroes and fantasy. But people got kind of tired of that crap. They wanted to see like what is the what do people just, what are normal people like? What are they? And it was sort of a reaction to cameras, if I remember as well. Well, they hadn't quite gotten there. And so in America, it was very much about like, what the fuck is to the west? And so they'd send out painters and people like that, and just send them out, just like, go west, see what you can figure out. And that was their job, was to go paint things and to talk about like, go look at this. Like, wouldn't it be great if you lived in this cool place? And it's free. All you have to do is fight off some Native Americans. Which is not the biggest deal, right? Like, you don't care. It's your land, right? Because you went and fought for it. It says America. Sorta something or other, 18 something. We have to wait until 2, so we're just gonna sit here. But anyway, along comes realism, and it's just like, here's what people look like. This is reality. This is what life is like. So that's what realism is. Maybe I should show you a picture of realism rather than talk about romanticism and go, but realism isn't that. Um, yeah, here's the one that I always remember from art history class. Let me bring that up on screen. I should just have like a screen region dedicated to showing you guys art. Yeah. When I was talking about random dude on the side of the road working on it, this is literally the image I was thinking of. It's a man and his son, and they're just sort of doing a thing. Like this is the working man. You know, every generation of artist is looking to see and talk to the everyman, you know? Be it pop art, because everyone understands who Marilyn Monroe is. But it's important to understand that Michelangelo, you know, is not realism. Wait, wasn't I supposed to get... Oh, I killed... What did I kill enough of? Bats? I need to go to the Void Spirit level. I apparently... Okay. I think that was like 80 that I went to where I started seeing... Hammering cactus equals realistic. I mean, yeah, more or less. Oh, it's the dust sprites. Okay. That would make sense because I was killing dust sprite at the time. But then there's stuff like, you know, Michelangelo, and that's more of like classicism. I think that's the right term. You know, and it depends. There's also the pre-Ralphites and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that's just old school that people kind of lump together. And it usually ends up being like the preferred art style of the right wing and of fascism. You know, Hitler, when he came to power, he was very much into just like, bring back Michelangelo, bring back the old school stuff. What is all this crap? To which the Dadaists said, fuck you. And then nailed a effigy of a Nazi to the ceiling and put a pig face on it. It was just like, lol, look at this. And Hitler was like, what the fuck? Which is essentially what Dadaism was about. It was shitposting because nihilism. You know, invoke the Roman Empire. Talk about how cool we are. Like, look at the power and strength of our nation, because look at how, like, exact this is. Like, look at the skill required. You know, we have the time and energy to be spending on these amazing artists because we're cool like that. Yeah, Dadaists have literally used toilets as art. The Fountain is the piece you're speaking of. And that's just sort of a thing. They were just like, fuck you, fuck this, everything doesn't matter. So I'm gonna just have a poem about nothing and just say words. It doesn't mean anything, it's just like blah 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 blah. What if I made a poem like that? We're at winter of year 2. Duchamp. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that. I'm not an art history major. I didn't do well in art history. Let me maybe preface this by saying that I didn't have I had a really good teacher. I just wasn't very good at learning art history. And I think I've talked about, I think I was still in art history class when this series started, so you probably remember some stories about that. But anyway, it just kind of ticks me off as a artist that people lump pre-Ralphites, realism, and stuff like that as one category of realism. Also, this music is my jam right now. I was garbage at art history. It really was one of the subjects that I really couldn't get my head around. I had a very difficult teacher. She was I think, Harvard graduate and had a doctorate. And she made sure that you knew that. Not in that she treated you as lesser, but that you're going to work your fucking ass off. And I'm grateful for it now. You know? Because, I don't know. A lot of the things in art is about questioning why you're doing things and doing things, right? And why the establishment, you know, the people that have done art before you, why did they do things? And what can you do that's new? Obviously, you got to do something new or do something different. You know what I mean? I think that's the key to anything. If you're going to do something creative, be it streaming or music, or there's a tunnel right there, or art, whatever you're doing that's creative, or really just anything in life, do it different or do it better. Those are your choices. Otherwise, your opinion and idea is shit. Because I could literally just go to the person who was doing it before you and do it, and just watch them, because they have more experience. They've been doing it longer. They're better. And you're not doing anything different, so why should I watch, listen, or look at your product? You know? That's the trick. If you want any art help, that's the simplest piece of art help that I can give you. Practice and do something different or do something better. But to learn what's different, you gotta know what everyone else has done and why they did it, you know? And I was talking about, how classicism was sort of a thing. You know, I looked at some video, and I don't really want to say who it is, because I don't want to really give them the respect. I would say, modern-day shitposts are Dada. It doesn't matter. And it's because it's funny. And because it confuses the hell out of the people who don't understand what it is. You know? Wrapping yourself up in a towel and then just screaming for an hour is totally a Dada thing to do. Doesn't mean anything. No. But everyone will try and ascribe meaning to it. They'll try and ascribe meaning to the meaningless. You know? It's the most nihilist thing ever. Mimic the universe by being totally meaningless despite having all this creative potential. You know? It's pointless. There's nothing to it. And it's why I love it so much. YouTube poops are Dada. It's art. You know, people give it shit because they don't understand it, but that's literally the point. There's nothing to understand. But, you know, anyway. Are B-memes? Yeah, B-memes are, you know, potentially Dada-ist, neo-Dadaist. An example of Dada art is a, and this one was, I think this might have been surrealist. There's a fuzzy line there, mainly because the Dadaist, or the surrealists, were people who started to take their crazy ramblings a little bit too seriously. They're like, what if I could tap into the real me? This is when Freud was really getting going. What if I could get to the id? How do I get to the id? You know? I can't get in the way of my art because whatever my creative id wants to do, I'm getting in the way of because I want it to be such and such. So how do I do that? Well, literally just relinquish control. Make dream-like things. Get really high on drugs. Do whatever you can to make it so that way you're not... I know, I'm not a fan of Freud either, but that's what surrealism is. Is Dada taken seriously. I need to go home again. I'll kill this last slime. So, do a shit ton of drugs, and there you go. Dada. Or, surrealism, I mean. And, or just relinquish total control of your art. There's this thing called the exquisite corpse, which is basically you fold a piece of paper up. You get like a 3-foot or like 6-foot thing of paper, right? You fold it so that way every 2 feet of it, you've folded it so you can't see the next thing, right? And, hold on, get some coffee. I've been talking this entire time. Okay. I barely found any copper. What did I do for the charity stream? I played Flash games. My incentives for the charity stream are play 1 for every 1,000 we raised. I played 14 the other day out of the 137 that I need to. I'm going to do one stream where I'm drawing chat's requests. We're going to do real simple things like tell me a noun and then whatever I feel like drawing out of that list. And then I'm going to play advanced Scrabble with Hootie, which is more exciting than it sounds. It's Scrabble with Rev rules. Oh, and Momoko streaming and Rev cooking. But those are the ones that I've gotten written down on this piece of paper. I mean, I've got $100,000 in the bank. It's alright. We're good on money. My wife in this game is worried about money, and we've got $100,000. I don't imagine there's someone... Hello? Bumped into Robin this morning. She told me they got a new slime hutch. Oh, do I? Not bad. I was into slime breeding at your age. It's a great hobby, but dangerous. How do you think I lost this eye? Just kidding. Here, I've got something for you. You received a green slime egg. When is the Momoko stream? I will be streaming a bunch of good stuff this month. I'll be getting into it. It's a slime egg. You can place it inside a slime incubator to hatch it. Now take a good hard look at that egg next time you're out slime hunting. Keep your eyes peeled for more eggs. They're rare, but slimes do drop them from time to time. Collect eggs from different slimes to add variety to your herd. Thank you for 15 bits, Purple Sheepy. Alright, so I'm not actually gonna put this together just yet, because if I do, I guarantee I'm gonna get murdered by this thing, and I don't really care for that. So instead, we're gonna, 3D Scrabble is probably a thing, yeah. Why wouldn't it be? Momoko yelling in the background. Really being helpful and, being nice and quiet. Let's see. Where was it going with that? I was talking about Dada, right? You ever doze off while playing Hearthstone? A little bit. Oh, that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I'll get back into the art talk in a minute. Try and remind me where I was at. I was going to go into, I think I was going to move on to Futurism. And I'm brushing over a lot of shit when I'm talking about this stuff. But I recently got an email from someone who wants me to basically stream their game, right? And it's one of those situations where they'll pay me to. And I haven't done that before. I actually, well, that's a lie. I tried to make a video for a company once. They were going to pay me if they liked it. An undisclosed amount of money. I forget if I was allowed to say that or not, and I think I've talked about it on stream before, that was a thing that happened. But suffice to say, they didn't like my video. They thought it was too negative, and so I didn't post the video. It was uploaded as private, and now it's just sort of in the aether. Can I bring this back up by... Oh, okay, that's broken now. I guess I'm gonna have to fix that. Fence? Oh, it's fine. It's just, it's broken because the wall isn't right. But anyway, it's one of those questions that I gotta ask myself, because, I don't know. I respect you guys a lot, and, you know, when you're talking about, like, doing some work like that, where I basically talk about a game that I don't really give a shit about, like, where's the line? I knew there was some trick to putting the fence in. So, I don't know. Where is the fence? I don't know if I feel good about it. Yeah, the people who said my stuff was too negative. It was a point and click game. And I I didn't get how to beat this one puzzle, and I spent a good 30 minutes to an hour trying to beat it, and when I finally figured it out, I kind of freaked out a bit, and that's in the video, the highlight video for it, and they just hated it. They hated how negative I was about that, so it's fine. So, I don't know. That's a question I gotta float, like, is that even okay? I mean, there's a certain contingency of any fan base that's pretty much willing to put up with whatever the person who's would I have played all the way through Major Minor if that was a charity incentive? If it was a charity incentive, I would have, but it wasn't, so I won't. Anything I agree to as a charity incentive, I'll do. I feel uneasy doing that kind of stuff, because it's just like, I mean, as long as I properly disclose it, it's all above board, you know, but it still feels weird. And a lot of the times, it's just like, it doesn't really matter if I like it or not with those. In fact, it's probably better if I have no strong opinion one way or another about it. If I hate it, then I can't really do it without, you know, I can't really have a video about talking about how much I love a game that I absolutely hate. Let's say it was Fallout, because I'm well on the record of saying that I dislike that series as much as people like it. It would be really weird if I was just like, hey, check out these cool things that this game has. That feels bad. There shouldn't be a problem. And it's dependent on how nice of a fan base I've got. I have a very nice fan base, and that's partly the reason that I don't even want to go there, because, I respect you guys too much. I don't want to be in a situation where you guys feel like I'm using you. You know, I've talked about this before, about, you know, people who beg for donations and then buy elaborate things for themselves. That's fucked up in my eyes. I feel like that, you know, your fan base, the people who watch you, they're the people who make your life possible if you're doing this for a living. I mean, yeah, Twitch TOS says you have to disclose it, but, like, I'm more talking about just, like, me as a person. Even if, like, FCC didn't require it and Twitch didn't require it, I'd still want to disclose it. I don't know, it just feels weird. I'm gonna play the game some, see if it's any good. And, if it's good enough that I can even talk about it. It's not that I really don't want to sell out, because, I mean, I guess anytime money gets involved, you've sold out. You're doing it because money's involved at some way or another. It's more of buying in, as they say. You know? And I feel like the people who get really popular on YouTube, not necessarily YouTube, but just in general, there's a certain way you can really rise through the ranks to do things. There's a certain level of unscrupulousness to it, at a certain level. And I don't want to say people like PewDiePie are unscrupulous, or have bad morals. I don't know them. You gotta watch it. I don't know. What game are we talking about? I'm not gonna say the name of it because I haven't quoted them on how much I'd ask for them to pay. If, I don't know, I guess if it means that I can stream more often, then it's fine, right? That's the question. And take it out of the context of, like, anything as far as the negative people making money off of streaming sort of thing. Live streamers and YouTubers are two different groups. Yeah, but it's all kind of the same ilk after a while. I don't even know where I'm going with that line, but you know what I mean. Anyway, just wanted to point out that that's a thing. So if I randomly have a sponsored stream, I will let you guys know, and I'll have it probably say on screen that it's sponsored. And if you don't want to watch that video, it really doesn't fucking matter to me. I understand. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter to me. It does, but I understand if you don't want to. I won't be offended. Is that better? And as far as playing the game that is like made by the same people who made Frog Fractions, maybe? Yeah, and that's why I'd want it to say on screen the entire time, because there's some times where people will come in and they'll go, what game is this? And then it's like, I don't you know, like, then I'd have to explain the situation. So if it just said sponsored on screen the entire time, then no matter where you're coming in, it's not required by law. You just have to be aware that it's sponsored. That's all I have to do. I can say it at the beginning of the video and then it's fine. That's all the law requires. In fact, I could put it down in the description box. I think that would be sufficient by legal standards, but that's, I don't know, it's weird. It should be apparent. Yeah, put it in the title, and then, like, hashtag sponsored on screen. Literally just use the text tool of OBS and just put it on screen as a separate layer, so I wouldn't even have to think about its existence. But it's interesting because I don't know as if they know who I am. So I don't know as if they're actually gonna want that. It is underhanded to use the description. But people do it. People are really bad about that on YouTube, especially. I mean, I've done sponsored stuff before. That's what Chronog is. But you guys are well aware. Because I say I make money off this. They're sponsoring me. They're paying me money. Not a lot. I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose, but it's more than $20 and less than $40 a month, based on commissions, which is, considering how much work I put into it and how I can be honest and be like, it's whatever. On a lot of the games, that's fine with me. But, you don't have to sell out, to be a streamer. I think that's a misnomer. I think you can get by without, but, YouTube's landscape is really unsteady right now, and not having another job, it's basically like, until I find one, I might have to work into stuff. Yeah, we belong to Screenwave, which is the network that Angry Video Game Nerd is a part of, and a bunch of other Team 4-Star best friends play. That's their network. Screenwave is good, and if you need a network and you have the snuff to do it, then I would recommend them. Curse is an okay equivalent if you don't have the numbers for Screenwave. Weren't I working at an anime store? They just decided they weren't going to pay me. So I decided, pay me or I quit. And they said, okay, we'll work something out. And then they didn't, and so I quit. Given the choice between working for free, just to say I've got a job, or not working, and spending more time streaming, painting, and stuff like that, I'm going to not work, because fuck that. I don't know why I'm digging up every single rock in this layer. I don't really need to. Okay, I've got 41, so now I just need to go kill slimes real quick. So anyway, let me get back to Futurism, because I think it's kind of interesting. Futurism's kind of the weird man out. Let me show you some futurist art real quick, because I think that's important. It's really cool looking. I saw a video on YouTube that I still need to watch that's asking if Futurism has anything to do with whatchamacallit, cyberpunk stuff. And I can see how they got there. I'd have to watch the video to see if they've actually explained it. But I can see... God, I hate this stupid picture of, there's like a really dumb statue that's sort of like the be-all, end-all for Futurism, and I hate it. Let me show you. Subregion, select region. This is Futurism. Early Futurism. It's really cool stuff. It's about dynamism. That's the main thing. If anyone ever talks to you about Futurism, just throw the word dynamism or action. You just throw those words around and people act like you know what you're talking about. Let me show you some others. It's a lot about this. This is very Futurism. A little bit Art Deco feeling. Let me see if I can find... This is the statue they always talk about in Futurism. Nude descending a staircase. Notice how the movement is shown in these. Just showing action and movement and technology, and they're so psyched about everything happening in like 1918 or so. They're psyched about planes. They loved planes. They're like, what the fuck with planes? They're so cool. And they're like, we're really on the verge of just something really cool here. Like, the world is about to change, and we're about to get to this new technology, and the world is gonna be a changing place. And I accidentally closed out of the chat. Oh well, here it is again. I got it. And they were right. It just so happened that World War II happened. It was not a good situation. But what's weird about them is, while every other art movement has been very anti, like all the art movements that people actually care about, still, they're weird because they were actually trying to be art of the state after a while. Like, they wanted to be, and this is a primarily Italian art form. They wanted to be like, this is the official marked art of us, you know? This is what Italy is about. This is the style. And of course, when Mussolini came to power, he was like, that's cute, guys, but instead we're going to do classicism. We're gonna do some old school stuff like Michelangelo and stuff. So I mean, that's cute, and we're really glad. But stop. They wanted to make art for the state. They wanted to make art that was like the pride of, you know, Italy, of fascist Italy. Didn't work out for him. But it's just this weird little thing that we still give a shit about them, because like most of the art, like, name 3 artists that Hitler really liked that were contemporary. You probably can't. You can probably name people like Picasso, who were people he didn't like. Picasso famously, was it Picasso? Fairly certain it was. Give me half a second. I think it was Picasso who, yes. Picasso who did Guernica. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There we go. You probably have seen this one. Interesting art history shit going on here. This is actually hanging in, I think it's hanging in the, United Nations building. This is Guernica by, Picasso. It's about the bombing that happened in the town of Guernica. It didn't go well for the people. It's sort of, this is not Futurism, by the way. This is, Cubism and stuff. And it's very much just like, this shit sucked. Again, bulls, because Picasso liked his bulls. And there's a story that goes around, and maybe true, maybe not, but apparently some Nazi soldiers showed up at Picasso's place, and they looked at it. They looked at that that bombing, that painting of a bombing, essentially, and said, "Did you do this?" to Picasso, and the story goes that Picasso said, "No, you did," which is the most badass fucking thing you can say to a Nazi. But it's pretty cool. So I don't know if that story is true or not, but another little interesting piece about that is it's behind the stadium or the podium at the UN, and on one particular odd occasion, it was covered up during a press conference. And that press conference was when America was announcing its war on Iraq. That they covered up the paintings so that way it wouldn't be behind Colin Powell as he was announcing that we were going to go to war. And that's just like, I don't know, it's important to know art history, I guess, for that reason. Because they were cognizant of how that would look if behind him they had this essentially painting of a bombing. Art history can be boring if you make it boring. Why cover it up? We're about to go to war. We were about to kill people. They didn't want to make that, you know, they didn't want people to think about it. They didn't want people who knew about art history to go, wait a minute, we've done that whole, I mean, we've seen how bombing goes previously. It doesn't go well. So someone told Colin Powell to cover that shit up. Oh, wow, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Sounds very Orwellian. I mean, I don't know. But that is a true fact, that they did cover up that painting. Do I think art can be a fatal weapon? I mean, there's a thing that was on one of my art teacher's windows. They had little cubicles, and on one of them, it said, art isn't violent, people are violent, or something along those lines. I don't remember who it was accredited to, but, I don't know. I don't think art itself can be violent or cause war, really. I guess it can. People kill, steal, trying to get art, but, I don't know. That's a different question. I don't really know how to answer that. I kind of feel like my teacher probably should have failed me as well, but I think she understood who I was as a person and wanted to she wanted me to just graduate and didn't want that to be the thing that stopped me. So she gave me a decent grade, but wasn't anything good. Thank you for 255 bits, Impudent Veil. A lot of things are art. What time do you open? 9. Okay, going fishing then. Have I ever made a self-portrait of my dick? Well, I mean, I only get like, what is this canvas size here? It's like 11 by 18 or something like that. I'd have to get a much larger canvas. And, I don't know. I don't have that much money to be spending on large canvases like that. Thank you for the 5 bits, Purple Sheepy. How much have you given me this stream? Decent amount. Gotta scale it? I mean, I don't know about that, man. $30? Thank you, friends. So, I don't know. I think art history is important, like I was saying, because if you've got to have this, it's got to be better or different. You're going to be hard-pressed to do better most of the time on most everything. And in fact, with art, you don't actually have to be better than people. It's something I've come to the realization in my own life. I don't actually have to be better than anyone. You don't have to be better than anyone. Oh, okay. I thought you wanted that. What? Did we run out of time? We did, okay. We ran out of time on that. We're just gonna keep those, though, just in case. Part of it is you don't have to be better than people. I think there's this encouragement to be the best by culture and by people. But that's absolutely untrue. You don't have to be the best. You don't even have to be particularly good. The thing is, art is not the Olympics. You know, there's not a gold trophy for being best art ever. You know? They don't do that. You just have to be good. You know? You don't have to be the best streamer ever. You know? You don't have to be the best musician ever. Because as long as you're good, it doesn't really matter. You just have to be good enough. I need to clear out my, thing. I'm sure there's some prize for art and stuff, but does that really fucking matter? The fact that you're asking, isn't there a Nobel Prize for art, kinda proves the point that no one actually gives a shit. I mean, yeah, you should push yourself through bad art and make bad art, you know? The whole idea of 10,000 hours. I don't know if I subscribe to that belief. The idea that, after doing something for 10,000 hours, you become a master of it, you know? The Beatles are masters at it because they spent 10,000 hours, outside of what we saw, doing... Actually, I gotta wrap up stream soon. I think as long as you're improving, you're gonna be better. And eventually you'll hit that point of good enough. My point is you shouldn't be like, I can't be an artist because I'm not good enough. I'm not the best. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the best at fucking anything. Just do art. You know? If you spend 10,000 hours, the theory goes, at hard study of something, you will become a master. Maybe true, maybe not. I think it's a starting point in the very least. You know, if you spend 10,000 hours at something and you aren't at least half decent at it by the end of it, you probably did something wrong. And I don't even think it's about like, oh, self-improvement eventually. It's just like, just do it, you know? If you beat your meat for 10,000 hours, you'll be a masturbator. Thank you for setting up that joke for me. Bleeze it, thank you for subscribing. Oh, come on. I had that one. You have to give me that one at least. It's like a dad pun, but it's a really awful dad pun. We can get rid of those and put that up. I just need to clear out my inventory. And again, someone asked, why don't you have as many followers as, you know, or as many viewers as Vinny or Yo? Like, and someone, I don't want to name names, and maybe I'll make this guy feel bad for pointing this out, but there was a guy at TMG, and he goes, you know what? You gotta admit, you're like third place to like Vinny and Yo, but I love your streams. And I'm like, thanks, man. You know, it kind of twists the knife a little bit, but all right. And I know I didn't mean any harm by it, but the thing is that I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be like I don't know. If I spent my time trying to compare myself to Vinny and Yul and to every other streamer and YouTuber, I'd never be happy. I just want to be happy with what I do. That's all that really matters to me. I think for the people here, I'm good enough. And being the best is a weird thing. What does that even mean? Also, thank you, Mr. Sparkly, for 100 bits. And I'm sure there are some people who will say that... I mean, there was someone who said I was their favorite streamer today, you know? That means that maybe according to that person, maybe according to some people, I'm better than them. I don't know. You're better than Jake Paul. Oh, God. I'm going to talk about unscrupulous people. I don't know much. I don't know that guy from Adam, but, I mean... I don't know. I'm happy with where I'm at, and I'm happy with my streams. And I don't feel like I've ever sold my soul to be at where I need to be and what I'm doing. And that's what matters. People are happy with my streams. I'm happy with my streams. And cool. Mr. Sparkly says, you may not be better than some streamers, but I have to admit that you're different. Again, going back to what I was saying, you don't have to be better, you just have to be different. Different is easier. Different or better, you have to, like, fight them on their own turf. You might as well fight them on your home turf rather than, you know, whatever. So I need to go kill 100 slimes or so. So, as far as art for myself, I've realized that I don't have to be the best painter ever. And, I do have a fat dong. That's a good point. Thank you for pointing that out, Steve, the genius. I think at the end of, today we should probably stop, because I agreed that I was going to meet Mike at 9, and we were going to play some PUBG. We gotta wait until 2. So... what's my goal in this game right now? Kill 1,000 slimes. So, I'm gonna try and stream as much as I can this coming month, I should say. At least 5 times a week, and actually be on that shit, you know? If this is what I want to do with myself, if I want to do this in art, then I better be doing art every day, and I better be streaming most days. I don't have to do it every single day, but I oughta, you know? I don't think it's gonna be a stream. I think it's just gonna be us hanging out. So, sorry. Okay, I need to sell some of this shit, because I've got this, and what does this do? Sure, I guess I sold it, whatever. I am happy that I won the Vine Wrestle, I'll tell you that much. I'm more or less happy that I just didn't go down in one punch. And I'm not saying settle when I say you don't have to be the best. I'm saying, like, you know, always fight to be the best you can, but just, like, when you're trying to be... I don't know, it would be depressing to try and be the best. You know? That's an unattainable, abstract goal, you know? To be happy with your own work and to be improving on that, that's better. You know, you may have separate goals. Like, I have a goal that I want to hit 100,000 subscribers. Because, at 100,000 subscribers, I definitely have enough, even with YouTube's weird analytics, to be, you know, taking care of myself and Tilda and all that. That'd be cool. But, I don't know. That's not something I can really control outside of, you know, doing the best I can and doing good work. I'm talking about on the highlights channel less so than the after hours. After hours is something that I put work into and put time into, and it makes me more money than highlight channel because it's longer watch time. And and that's what YouTube counts out, but, you know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I guess I should get back to art. Let's talk about art again, because I remember where I was going with that now. So I've been working on trying to come up with something that, for a while now, how to do that metal art that I do, the skulls and such. How do I do that in color? You know? The references I have aren't really there. There's not really something that says this is how you do that style in color. And, more or less recently I kind of had a breakthrough because I just kind of snapped. And, so you have a palette knife, right? I was like, what happens if I just use a palette knife to do art? And it turns out it makes it really dynamic. It's part of the reason I was looking into Futurism so much and why I'm talking about it now, was that, Futurism was about dynamism. Does it have to be in color? No, but I mean, I figure if you're painting, you might as well use the medium you got. You know, I think, inadvertently, I think anyone who looks at a piece of art considers the media as part of the work, you know. Tell me how much you'll pay me for a painting done in oil, and tell me how much you'll pay me for a drawing done in crayon, and I'll point out exactly, what's going on there, you know? Like, the media matters, you know? People get upset that they're artists who work using shit. Well, now we're talking about shit, you know, poop on a canvas. That says something different than fine oils and such. You may not like it, but, you know. Literal shit, yes. There's, but like, the media is important. If I just use shit color paint, it wouldn't have the impact of actual human shit on a canvas. You know? And it's something to talk about, and it's something to bring up in art. Now, would I actually put human shit on a canvas? I did? No, because that's awful, and it's gross. Also my art doesn't need that. It's, you know, I'm fine with acrylic, you know? And we're going into this whole, like, you know, memento mori, remember death sort of thing, you know, talking about something that never was alive, that, you know, is made from plastic, that's killing the environment. Yeah, there you go. There's some bullshit art talk for you. Makes it sound good. Prepping that art talk for if I do have a show or whatever. Honestly, it's just because I like the expediency of acrylic over oil. Oil takes too long, in my opinion. Not really a huge fan of it. It's so... I don't know, it's, oil takes too long. And I like to just sit down and paint all day. And with oil, you can't do that. You have about 20 minutes or so, and then you gotta wait a day or two. You know? Maybe you got a couple hours, depending on the size of your canvas. But I work in small sizes, so it can be right next to my desk, so I can just sit and paint. I have no excuse on why I'm not painting directly after this, aside from that I've already agreed to hang out with Mike. But, like, you know, Mike is now hosting me for 200 people. Speaking of Mike, hi. If you remove the barriers that keep you from doing something, it makes it more likely that you'll do it. It's just human psychology, you know? And the easier you make it for yourself, the easier you will do it. For instance, if you want to lose weight, don't have things that make you fat in your house. Like, don't buy ice cream. It's a lot easier to not eat ice cream if you don't have ice cream, you know? And the same works in reverse. If you want to do art more often, literally just put art supplies near where you usually hang out. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go eat. Okay, cool. Just let me know when you're back. I'll probably go a full 2 hours then, if that's cool. We got about 30 minutes left on that. Twitch is actually giving you bits for once. Well, thank you, Purple Sheepy. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of out of sight, out of mind. Like, if you have whatever you need to practice with or work on, then you can just do it. You're more likely to. I literally... My hair is a mess because I planned on going out to go get my hair cut today. But, like, literally, look. Let me turn on my light. Oh, fuck. Okay. Literally, all around my desk is painting supplies. You know? There's the Bill Murray painting. It looks creepy from this distance. Looks about as much like Bill Murray as that looks like a sunrise. The shadow really makes it look good. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's getting there. Eventually, it'll look like Bill Murray. Not a huge fan of painting people, like I said. Where's the game cam? There it is. Once I put in eyes and hair, him not having eyebrows is creepy. It's just, yeah. It's a base layer. If you want to get into drawing, literally just put a pencil and a piece of paper near your desk. And while you're watching a stream or something, if you're just twiddling your thumbs or whatever, just do art. You know, a lot of people tell me they do art while I'm streaming. Your hair looks fine. It's a little bit messy because I didn't put gel in it this morning. I usually like to kind of like, it's not really spike it as much as style it with gel. And I did do that this morning, so it's just kind of all over the fucking place. Kind of worry if that gel is doing anything to my hair. Probably is. Anyway, so I've been thinking about that, and it's cool that that's a thing. Like, if I use a painter's knife, I might be able to actually, like, it's less of a step. Like, I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. Oh, it relinquishes some of the control that I have. So instead of it being all, like, weird, I don't know, it's hard to paint sinews just randomly. Give it really an artificial or a dynamic look. But if I literally just make it go randomly on, it gets that speed and that intensity that I want out of it without having to do as much work. It's just there. And I forgot to paint my animals, but I guess they're not getting petted today. So I'll go a little bit longer because Mike came in and said that he wanted to go eat. So that's been cool. That was a good breakthrough. Wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had my stuff set up for me to paint. I mean, I guess there's no reason to put in gel in my hair if I'm not going anywhere. We went and did shopping today and stuff. Simultaneous... Ooh, what's this? Creating an enchanted staff of phenomenal power, however, I'm missing something. An iridium bar. I'm willing to pay 5 times market value for it. Please bring it to me as soon as you can. Okay, cool. So I don't know. I like s1e paint tool. Oh, that's another thing I could talk about. Mike is back. Hi, Mike. So with a lot of artists nowadays, this is something that kind of pisses me off. But I'll talk about it because it's something to talk about. There was, with minimalism and stuff like that, they eventually came to a point where it goes, what is art? Not like, what is art in some sort of, like, lofty sense, but literally, what part of art is art? Is it the brushstroke, or is it the actual movement? Or is it the idea? Where is art? You know? And so after a while, people just started coming up with concepts as art. Concept art, I guess. I don't remember the term. Again, I wasn't an A-grade student in art history. There's this one about a chair, and it's the word chair, then a picture of a chair, then an actual chair. And it goes, which one of these is a chair? And then there was another one that was just design documents for another thing. And we can get to the canvas entirely painted blue because I actually really like that one. Specifically that color, but he was also... Art is the idea. It's kind of a cool concept, but like, so if it's just the idea, then it doesn't matter who does it. Like, let's say I've come up with an idea for a painting. I don't know. 8.5 by 11 painting entirely blue with like a huge red dot in the middle of it. Now, if everyone makes that, and the dot is exactly 2 inches in diameter, perfectly round. Is that... Now, if you do that, are you the artist or am I? I missed 2 eggs. Well, I'll get them tomorrow. And I kind of think art is the full thing, you know? If I just tell you, okay, I'm gonna pay you $20 to do this art for me, you know? And it's okay if you don't know the answer to this, because the art community has been having a shitstorm about it for the last, like, 20, 30 years. They don't know what the fuck to do with that information. And in fact, they've just decided that the concept of the art is more important than the actual thing. And so you have these people, and they're making these sculptures. Right? These massive fucking sculptures, right? But what's the creation part? Is it the making of it? Like, actually putting paint on canvas? Or is it the idea of it? Which is art? What the fuck is art? It's hard to know. Is art the idea that if I put down notes onto a sheet and I go, this is how you play the song, even despite not knowing how to play it, is that... Yeah, I've been talking art the entire stream, Hoots. Hi, how are you doing? Art is subjective. People say that, but let's have an opinion about it, you know? Art is subjective. So what's your subjective opinion? Art is a hot dog. It is indeed. So it's just kind of like, is art the idea or the movement? And for a lot of people, it's been decided that it's the idea. That if I tell a group of people, if I have enough money and I pay them all to make a thing for me, then that's art. That's my art. They don't get credit. You know? Hey, here you go. Now leave? Fuck you too, man. What does it matter? I feel like it matters a great deal. But what's been happening in the art world recently, I've noticed, is that there are these huge monolithic sculptures, right? 2 or 3 stories tall. 2 or 3 stories tall. There we go. Those are words. But they're all not... Like, the artists themselves don't get involved at the physical level. They don't do the soldering. They don't do the bending of the metal. And I find that bullshit. I feel like art is the whole concept. Like, it's not just, you know, the idea, but it's the working of it. I cannot play a goddamn song well enough to be able to write out sheet music for it, but if I wrote out sheet music for a song, I could claim... And it's like, is that right? I don't know. But I feel like for myself, I need to be able to do the entire product for it to be considered mine. You know? Ima just hosted me for like 300-something people. Hi. We're talking art and what it is. The argument feels roundabout. This is what art is. A lot of the basic questions about art have been answered. Can you use paint? Yes. Can you use any substance? Yes. Does the substance matter? Yes. That stuff has been answered, but then you've got that. Can't art be a group project? But that's what I'm saying. They don't see it as a group project. They just do the thing. And then it's credited to the one artist who did it, and everyone thinks, oh man, that's very impressive. I think that's kind of bullshit. You know? Oh shit! That was something I was gonna bring up. And actually, one of those videos that I just, that I brought up, the Magic Man Mike, he actually brought up a really good example of this. Someone was asking me, what quoting in art means. And, I need to find this picture. Magic the Gathering, I think it's called Overgrowth? No, it's not Overgrowth. Fuck. Okay, people who have played Magic, help me out with this. There's a picture, it's a green card, and it allows you to destroy shit. And it's like this massive lump of wave of grass, right? Art. Where's the... There we go. That's... Okay, so I found the one that they're quoting. It's green removal. Could a running engine be considered art? It totally has been. Yeah. In fact, there was a part of Dadaism that was just about, like, self-destructing machines. And then what do you do with that as a collector? Like, how do you deal with that? Like, the machine blew itself up. How do you conserve that? Art conservation, or conservation, is a whole different issue. How would the question, what isn't art, be answered? That's very hard. I think art... I think it's been agreed, I don't know if I agree with this, but I think everyone has come to the conclusion that art is what everyone agrees art is. And I know that sounds like me just backpedaling, but that seems to be the answer. Fuck. I can't find it. As it's gonna drive me mad. Well, maybe if I show you the piece that it's quoting, you'll remember it. I believe it's a sorcery, and I think it's from the Mirrodin block. I don't know if that helps, but it's quoting this image, which I will show you right now, and you guys might be able to remember it. And this is a good example of quotation that doesn't involve the only other version of quoting that I can't think of. Look at this. There's a green removal spell that looks like this, but it's a wave of grass. How much longer am I planning on streaming? Until Mike gets done. Rampant growth. There you go. This is what quoting art looks like. Because if you are into art, you will see this and go, oh, it's that. That's what quoting an art is. This is the best example that I've seen that isn't one that involves nudity. And it's really good. So this, when I'm talking about when artists quote each other with art, this is what I'm talking about. Interesting stuff. It happens a lot. It's an allusion to, and if you get the reference, then it adds an extra layer to it, because that was Kamigawa, wasn't it? Which is the Japanese arc of, you know, the pseudo-Japanese that had a lot of samurai and kitsune and stuff like that running around. Arc of Magic the Gathering, and so if you know that's a reference to that, it's extra cool because it's like, whoa, that's that one thing. It's like an art Easter egg, yeah. And sometimes that adds extra meaning to it. Because you know that that piece is about that. It's kind of like referencing. It's not copying. But I didn't notice it until that video pointed it out, and then I was like, holy shit, it totally is. Like, it's down to the background. There's a mountain in the background. It's really cool. Beyblades, what about them? Parody can totally be art. I mean, there's a reference to it in Past Part Out of a Dadaist piece, which is it's often one of the ones that people who don't get art usually like to shit on, or haven't done the art research to know stuff like references or quotes, as I'm talking about. Don't get. It's a picture of the Mona Lisa with a mustache, and then it has some text under it, which I think it's like LHLO, but if you pronounce it with a French accent, the way that a French person would pronounce the letters LHLO, it has the double meaning of not just those random letters, but also it sounds a bit like you're saying she has a nice ass. Which is funny and kind of the point. What's my opinion on DeviantArt? As a kid, I didn't like it. I was on DeviantArt and I hated never being daily deviation. And it is what caused me to leave eventually. And it's kind of what I'm saying, is that I've realized now that I've gotten older, that it doesn't matter. That shit does not matter at all. As long as I'm improving as an artist, then that's what it matters. Do you have any particular books that I would recommend for artistic inspiration? The books that I recommend all the time, as far as like art books, like books you have to read as an artist, are I think it's The $10 Million Shark, which is about the current state of art, and I think it's called Making the Leap, the artist something or other, and it's about how to be an artist, but in like an economic sense rather than a whatever. It's like the economics and how do you set your stuff up on a wall in a gallery? How high up off the ground does it need to be in order for it to be accurate for a gallery space? You know, what is eye level? How do you set up a canvas? How much do you spend on that stuff? That kind of thing. What is the point of this game? It's about farming, but it's winter, so I can't really farm. So, but those are the two that I would recommend, and I can't remember exactly the title of either, so I guess that doesn't really do any good, but those are two that you gotta read as an artist, because that tells you the community of art. The rest of it, I would look up artists that you enjoy. You know, like, and look at stuff that's slightly outside of your comfort zone, you know? So that way you can just learn some new things. Again, you know, am I a fan of the fascist, anti-woman sort of stuff that's going on in late Futurism? Not really, but I think Futurism looks pretty fucking cool. How can I add that, the idea of movement and dynamism, to my work? You know? And doing stuff that's outside of your own comfort zone when you're doing art. Would I ever use a palette knife normally in order to do art? No. Would I ever use the colors purple and orange? No. But I did all of those things and I really liked what came out, you know? And so it goes, okay, well, I need to do more. I think, especially when you're a young artist, you get a lot of the people who are trying to steal your art and stuff. After a certain point, you know the correct way to take it down on the internet and stuff. What is futurism trying to do? Let's talk about how cool fascism is. Says futurism. And then everyone was like, no. And Mussolini was like, no. And futurism was like, but it's really cool. And then he was like, but no, really, no. That's what futurism was in the end. Before that, it was just like, the future looks bright. Unfortunately, World War II happened, and then it turned out to not be really cool. Mussolini made the trains run on time. That's, I mean, yeah, that's the saying. I don't know, a lot of those websites like Tumblr and DeviantArt, when it comes down to the art community, can be very toxic if you get too embroiled in it. I think that's the worst of it, is trying to be, you know, the famous Tumblr artist or the famous, whatever. Brutalism needs some love. I think brutalism is really boring. I've never interacted with Fur Affinity, so I don't know what the community is like there. Luckily, joining Tumblr to do art has been fine for me because I don't interact with the other artists. I just make what I'm going to make, and then people ask me questions, and if they're not being dicks, I'll answer them. And if someone tries to steal from me, then I fuck them up. I destroy everything they have and everything they like and everything they own in the most legal way I can, and then it's gone for them. And they have to question why. No remorse. If you steal from me, I'm going to kick your ass. Can ASMR be art? I mean, like I said, art is what everyone has agreed art is, in the end. And if that happens to be ASMR, then sure. I have not had issues where people try and steal my art. In a long time. Can nothing be art? You asked that as a joke, but yes, it is. There's a very famous Dadaist song called, I think it's 1322. Let me get the name of this right. Dada song. Not The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. No. I think it was Neo-Dadaist. John Cage 1433. There you go. If you want to know if nothing can be art, then 433 is the answer to that question. Go and take a listen to it. I found it hilarious that 433 was actually copyright claimed on YouTube, muting the VOD. Which is, if you haven't listened to 433, understand that it is actually nothing. There is no sound. It's just empty air for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. The idea is that it stops you and forces you to listen to the background hum of the world. Bees McBees technically did a cover of that song in his song Lie Down in a Dark Space Until the Heat Death of the Universe. It's slightly longer. Can you get it on vinyl? It's beautiful. I'm sure you can. I have several rocks on me. I'm going to make some stone fences until I have enough. What do you wish that wasn't art? I don't really have a good answer to that because, I mean, as much as I hate certain things about art, it does progress the discussion of what is and is not art. And although I may not like it or care for it, we can have a discussion about it not being art. And I know that sounds weird. You can get it on vinyl. That's wonderful. That sounds like the optimal way of listening to it. And I'm not being hipster about like vinyls or anything, but like literally a thing that has no sound would be optimally listened to on a thing where it had some background sound, if that's the whole point of it. My inventory is full. I can throw away these mixed seeds. It's $47. Ah. Do I think I'd be mentally able to take another human being's life? I think, there are two, maybe... I think there's about 4 people on this earth that I actually hate enough that I'd kill. In amongst them, I mean, they're all people that I've bumped into at one point in my life and then learned things about later. And all of which would deserve that. Would I? In front of a recording of that thousands of people may listen to and that there are 415 people now watching me live? No. I definitely wouldn't kill them. I think hate is a very specific emotion, I have to say. Because hate is a lot like love, but in reverse. If that makes any sense. Hate and love are both very strong emotions that you can't get them out of your head, but all you can do is think about someone. Would I kill you? No, Punstar, I don't hate you. It's an extreme feeling, and it's not one that necessarily has any real gathering in logic or whatever, but it is one that you feel nonetheless. Yes? So, love and hate are very similar in that way. If that makes sense. Would I disturb a wasp's nest for $1,000? Sure, man. Still looking for a job. Makes me more money than painting Bill Murray. A lot easier, too. Take a little less time. Heard someone recently say that hate is a lot like love and it requires a lot of devotion. Yeah, it does. Basically is what I'm saying. So, I don't know. Also, I saw your message, Hoots. I didn't see if you responded back to my response on Discord, but, if you, if you need to speak to me, let me know. I'm gonna check that before I go, hang out with Mike and stuff, but, you know. Yeah. I don't think love is the opposite of hate. No. That doesn't make any sense at all. Would I eat grass for $300? I don't think I'm quite that poor, but hit me up after stream. Let's see, what do I have? Do I have anything that they actually want? No, this is all shit that we've seen before. Okay. Have I heard of anti-music? Like, anti-music? Love how this deep art conversation... I mean, like, listen, art is as deep as you make it. There's a surrealist image of, piece that's of a cup and a spoon, and they're both covered in fur. And in classic Freudian style, I remember I was talking about how surrealism is so much about Freud and Freudian logic. Take your own guess on what that piece is about, but it's also about how useless that thing is. But you can stop at the point where it's just like, It's made out of fur. That's dumb. And that's fine. Where am I going and what am I doing? I'm going to go kill more... things. Animusic is basically 3D animation around a piece of music. They're all super unique, varied, and interesting. Huh. I'm a Vine mom because she was the first viewer, basically. We're on year 2, winter day 6. Or open it. I don't know, it's not something I really know that much about. Yeah, I'm saying that's why Jin is Vine Mom. Thank you, Jessica Hill. Also, awesome name. But, you know, blah, blah, blah. Words. Do I know how to say them? Fred retweeted something that, some other streamer was talking about. And, they were kind of just talking about, like, hey, if you don't have money, it's totally cool. I think it's a dick thing. I said Ima? Did I? Oh, no. Jin was the first streamer. Or first viewer. I'm sorry. I'm not concerned if you guys are, you know, donating or subscribing and stuff. Obviously, it helps me out. I'm not going to devalue it. It's really nice that you guys do. But I also understand that $5 is a lot to ask. And it basically said, you know, if you can't, but you want to support me, there's a lot of other ways, you know? Like telling your friends about me, sharing my videos with your friends, or sharing it on social media. You know, you want to support me and you don't have the means to, literally just post it on Reddit and be like, dude, this guy is great. You know? If you want to support me and you don't have the money to. That is fine with me. That's really nice. Because I might get a couple of followers off of that. And honestly, I like streaming to a full room. It's also talked about, like, just being active in chat. Lurkers are fine, but seeing an active chat means that I'm having an interesting enough conversation that people, want my content. They want to talk about it. They want to be involved in it. So I'm doing a good job, you know? So, in short, thank you, Jessica Hill. Don't fret too much. I mean, a lot of, like, stuff like Reddit, I can't post my own videos on Reddit, because if I do, it's technically against the rules. But other people can post my videos on Reddit. That's not against the rules. Visibility is huge. Most of what makes people big is visibility. You want to talk about, what's his name? Jake Paul? He gets 50,000 subscribers a day. He's, I think, the most popular YouTuber out there right now, and there's a lot of stories about him and how he's trashing his house and stuff. And he's pissing off his neighbors because everyone knows where he lives, so they keep getting swatted, and he's just trolling them and stuff. He's making as many subscribers a day as I have in the years that I've been doing this. You know? That's how popular that guy is. And it's because of that visibility he's got. Am I really willing to go set fire to my pool? Not really. But if you want to, you know, tweet my stuff or show it to friends or post it on Reddit instead, maybe infamous is the more appropriate word. You don't have to be liked to be infamous. Just well known. He's the most infamous YouTuber out there right now. So retweets do help a lot if you want to do something and you don't have the money to. And that doesn't just go for me, that goes for, like, every YouTuber, streamer, whatever. I'm sure they'd appreciate you. Finally, with the slimes, I'm gonna get out of here and actually give him that. You know? That's cool, man. Thank you, Pseudopod. I mean, I'm glad your friend showed us. Or showed you us. That, right? Yeah. So we got the slime ring finally after killing 1,000 of these fuckers. Literally 1,000 and not another one over. The slime ring prevents damages from slimes. Done. So, I don't know. If that's what you can do, that's what you can do. Advertising is expensive, and, you know, if you can do the advertising for me, that's cool. Alright, I got the Slime Rancher ring, which means I can finally start the process of growing slimes. I guess I start with one? I don't really know how it works. Let's go ahead and start that today. Small little burp, just a little bit. Would I be in favor of a YouTube poop of me? I mean, I'm sure it's happened, I just didn't get linked to it. So, I mean, I guess I can't really stop you. As long as you're doing something creative with it, it's outside of, the realm. If you're just reposting my shit, I will definitely take that down. But, like, if it's, you know, done differently, like you're actually doing something with it. I've copyright claimed a couple of people who just literally uploaded my entire stream and expected it to be okay and advertise, you know, put ads on it and stuff like that. And it's like, no, you get fucked. And they complained about it to me, and I was like, literally do something. Like, make a YouTube poop. If that's what you want to do, make a YouTube poop. But, like, don't come to me acting like you did anything if you didn't. Alright, so let's get into the slime hutch and see what this situation is. So how does this work? This is a slime incubator? Okay. I don't know what the fuck this is. What the hell would I be doing? I have no idea, Chanley bro. Did you do anything for him? Dream Daddy win. That's a hard question because I got a lot of hate even suggesting that I would play it. And it's a question on whether or not I actually even would want to. My family owns a shop in a coffee shop in Kaufman, Texas. Where the fuck is Kaufman, Texas? Kaufman, Texas. Oh, it's one of those little towns. Where is that in relationship to anything? It looks like it's got a hospital and a Walmart, according to Google Maps. Oh, it's near Dallas. That's a bit out of the way. I live in Austin. I would otherwise. If it was in Austin, I'd show up there tomorrow. Yeah, that's a bit far of a drive for me. Pissing people off is fine, but when they think I'm homophobic for it, that's a different thing entirely. Oh, it's Texas. I'd like to move. I'd very much like to leave this hell state. It's currently summer, by the way, in Texas IRL, which may contribute greatly to that. But I'll tell you right now, whenever I see Texas in the news, like trending on Twitter, it makes me go, because I don't want to know why. And then I find out why, and then I get sad. Like, for once, I would like it that Texas is doing something nice rather than being shits. Have you ever considered showcasing your art at Wimberley? Like, what? The art museum? I don't think I'm that good. Oh, that's in Wimberley, Texas, maybe. I don't know. I'd look into it. If that's like a famous art gallery, again, I didn't do very good at art history class. I don't know. Someone got sent to jail for murdering a tree. I think it's called cutting down a tree. Usually you call it cutting down a tree rather than murdering? What makes it murder when it becomes a tree? Can you murder a tree? It's murder. Okay, I've been corrected. So as far as Dream Daddy goes, I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about that particular game. A lot of people say that it's homophobic because it was made by no queer people. They didn't have any LGBT people on the team, which is wrong. There were lots of LGBT people involved. People are complaining about a secret ending that one of the dads has that makes him go into a cult because he's religious. But that's not actually in the game. That was gonna be a Halloween thing. It's the writer is see, I didn't know the writer was bi, but I know the artist says that she's queer. And I don't know if is queer an okay word for me to say? I apologize if it isn't. It might be one of those words that's been reclaimed, if you know what I mean. And it might not be cool for me to say. I'm realizing this now after I've said it like 3 or 4 times, but it says so on her Twitter profile, so I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Of the things that that I'd like to deal with in my life, stress is not one of them. So queer is okay for me to say. I can say it without it being like, it's not like I'm saying the N-word or something. As a queer guy, I'm giving you a pass. Okay, cool. If that's not true, correct me. But I don't know. I also feel like I might have missed the boat on the proper time to stream it. And I also feel like a lot of people who are playing it as streamers and YouTubers are playing it because lol, gay people. Aren't they funny? Gay people being gay. And that's not really who I am. And I guess it's really up to me to decide how it's done. I don't know. But I'd rather not be lumped in with that crowd, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just, it's so weird that, like, it's just a contentious thing that you can't say, you can't play a game about being gay. Like, I just want to play a nice, sweet love story. You know what I mean? And if that happens to be taking place between 2 gay men, whatever. If it's a sweet love story. Someone told me that I wasn't allowed to play it. Literally had this conversation with me. I wasn't allowed to play it because I'm not gay. And it's like, what? Does that mean that are gay people not allowed to watch movies about straight relationships? Is that true? Because that doesn't make sense. And I literally told them I completely disagree with that. Where did I get that name from? My name, Rev Scarecrow, comes from me being a reverend. Which, as a side note, one of the reasons I became a reverend was A, to do it as a joke, and B, because then I'd be able to marry gay people if they ever got the right to be gay married. Quote, quote, gay married. Is because... And then Scarecrow because I live near a cornfield, so... I don't know. Sorry, that's just been something kind of out in the back of my head. Because I figure, you know what? It shouldn't be a thing that, you know, people should be forced to marry 2 people. Like, if a church has a thing against, like, you know, 2 men can't get married, fine, whatever, that's your religious belief, but it shouldn't be legal for 2 gay people to get married. Like, if there's a church that's willing to do it, they accept that gay people are okay and that they read the Bible as it being okay for them to get married, then that's fine. You know? That's what I'm thinking too, Mike. Yeah, I just want to hear dad jokes. You know? I don't think a church should be, and as a side, I don't think a church should be forced to marry people, but I don't think it should be illegal for gay people to get married. Because if I want to do that service for someone, and they want to be happy because they are two gay men, and they want to be happy together because they love each other, they should have that fucking right. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be the case. I would rather two gay men be in a happy, loving relationship than two straight people being in a horrible, unhappy relationship. If we're going to talk about gay people. Or two women, yes. Anyway. Let's end it on that incredibly, like, polarizing opinion. So I did it slightly to shitpost, but also because you should have that right. I like it that no one should be forced to do anything. I like a world where people are happy and in love. That is an ideal world for me. I added you on Steam. Is that okay? I mean, that's fine, but I can't add everyone back. I prefer to just keep it as, you know, people I know, and people that, I work with and people I'm friends with, very close friends with, because if I try to add everyone on Steam, I just don't have enough room. So it's easier for me to just add random people when I'm playing with them, like PUBG or whatever, and then remove them later, and then add people who are people that I'm good close friends with, like Mike and the streamers and such. So anyway, there's my 2 cents about gay people. And me being pissed off because people are gatekeeping whether or not I can actually... And I said gate, not gay. It kind of sounded like gay. Anyway, let's see. Purple Sheepy gave me like 50-something bits today. It's like 50 cents, which is pretty good. Thank you for the art. It's good. Rev, should I make a Rev fan game? You can. We'll probably do another game jam considering how good that one went. It's very good art. The coffee I feel like is wearing off, so I think I ought to end it there. Either that was a note that you'll all hate me for, or a note that you guys will continue to support me for. Whichever it happens to be. Don't really give a shit. I'm going to go ahead and go because I need to check in and see if Hoots needs to talk to me, and then Mike is probably just about done eating. So it would be good to go talk to him as well. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rambling about art. And hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, that's okay. A lot of that was probably wrong. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being so supportive and allowing me to just do what I enjoy doing. I'm very lucky to have a group of people who support me being a dumbass. And I need to always appreciate that. Lots of hearts in chat. You guys are cool. I'll see you guys later. Bye!